Anyway, did this spell and then nothing happened and I was like so upset. But then I remember 2 weeks later at my job at Fasta Pasta, these old Greek men were like leering over and like wolf whistling, and I should have taken that as like a threat, but I was just like,
it worked.
No one had ever checked me out before. I like ran to the bathroom and was like, it's working.
Oh man. Hello and welcome to How to Do Everything, a podcast in which I, Tommy Dasilo, a stupid young man, is attempting to assemble a complete guidebook to the human experience by chatting to different guest experts about what they've learned, what they've always known how to do, and what they feel the stupidest about. Today on the show, URVI MAJUMDAR joins me to teach me how to pretend to be a witch, how to read your birth chart, and how to spit from the back of your mouth. First of all, though, I will let you know, hey, good news, guys. The plugs for my live show are about to end because it is almost upon us. It starts today in Melbourne, if you are listening to this hot off the presses. Wednesday, March 26th, that is. My show, Main Character, at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. It is on now until April the 6th, 7:30 p.m. at the Coopers Inn. Would love to see you folks there. Very, very excited for the show. And of course, very excited to not have to plug it on here every week anymore. So get on tommydasilo.com and get your tickets. I'm also going to be in Sydney and Brisbane in May. But today, URVI MAJUMDAR. I've known URVI for a really long time. I think she's great. Great stand-up comedian. You may have seen her on Guy Montgomery's Guy Mont Spelling Bee. You may have watched her comedy special on YouTube. You may have seen her Fresh Blood short series, URVI Went to an All-Girls School, which is on YouTube, and there is another full pilot for that coming on April the 9th on ABC iView, so definitely check that out. If you enjoy this episode, I had a lot of fun chatting with URVI, so let's get into it. This is How to Do Everything with URVI MAJUMDAR. We were just talking off air about the brutal passage of time, and
it comes for us all.
It comes for us all. I'm really in the zone at the moment of being like, I'm actively, as of this year, telling people I'm nearly 40. Yeah. I'm 38. Like, chill out.
Oh, so yeah, I thought you just said you were 39. So you're like,
well, I'm turning 39 this year.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much 40 years.
Which is accurate, but in my head I feel like
you got time left. But I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy to round up.
But you got to get used to it. You got to get used to it.
And then when you actually turn 40, you'll be used to it. So it won't be like this like massive.
And then when I'm 45, I'll be like, I wasted so much of my late 30s worrying about being 40.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it.
I feel like the last few years of a decade always feel older than actually turning. Like once you turn 40, it's like, oh, it's a new decade. Whereas like now it feels like it's like wrap up time and it's more intense.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking then that your 30th came up on the pod a few episodes ago with Jordan.
Yes.
And again, I'm like, in my head, that feels really recent. But you could be 55 now for all I know.
Literally, it feels like that was I mean, when I think about like, it's not an original thought, but when people are like, when I thought I was of myself as 30, I'd be like, I had kids and I had all of it sorted out and stuff. But I wasn't like that hard into that, but I think in terms of like going through like a big, I guess like ending of like a longer relationship and then also having had that 30th, I feel like I've done the wedding and the divorce. I feel like it's just the amount I prepared for that 30th was like pretty much a wedding, even though it was just like
that was a big party.
It was so big. It was like way bigger
like
than I thought
a concert venue basically. It was awesome.
They like upgraded us on the day, and I was like initially I was like, oh, it's gonna look really like empty, but then it felt like it was like a festival or something.
Yeah,
so
no, it was fun.
Intense.
But I was thinking about this because last weekend I went to the pub with my partner and my parents.
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, my parents got there. I said, I'll go get us a round of drinks. What does everyone want? And Dad's like, oh, no, I'll get it. And I'm like, no, just, you sit down, I'll get us the drinks.
Yeah.
And Dad's like, oh, well, let me pay for it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And he hands me a $5 note to pay for
serious?
4 people's worth of drinks. And I'm like, when was the last time you went out and bought a drink? Like 35 years ago? Like, and he's like, oh, will that be enough? I'm like, yeah.
Is he okay? I feel like that's like red. That's like red flag. I'm like, get checked.
I know. And then they had like a jazz band on at the pub, and they take a break in between sets, and then as that's happening, Mum hands me a $20 note And I think there's been some kind of deliberation about the cost of the drinks. And so she's going like, hey, we realise we've completely underpaid you for that round of 4 drinks. And I take it and she goes, can you just put that in the hat that they're passing around for the jazz band?
Are you serious?
So I'm like, okay, you think that $5 is 4 drinks worth.
Yeah.
And now you're putting in $20 into this hat.
Yeah.
So in your head, is that like $800 that you're contributing?
Like
that's so much money to give this band. But the thing
like I'm just your sole investor.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was thinking about, in a weird way, sort of you specifically, that happened later was my dad was playing the Wordle. And in my head, Wordle's like a quite recent thing.
Yes.
But I remember you and I and a few others went to a wedding together.
Yes,
Well, of course, it was a few others. It wasn't just you and me together at this wedding as the only guest. But we were all staying in a big house, and I remember that being the real ground zero of Wordle.
That was OG because I remember Jonathan, my ex-boyfriend, used to play Wordle every day. But that was maybe through lockdown. But
we were all hitting it like because we were in this Airbnb together for like 3 days. We were all hitting it first thing in the morning.
Yes.
And there was big like someone would get it and then there would be a big like don't spoil it. Don't reveal the Wordle.
I have to pretend to be into those things. I feel like for some reason I'm just like not a games person, which is like it's not really, I guess I just don't like playing things, which is what when I was like kind of thinking about this podcast as well, I'm like, wow, I don't really have that many skills. And it's like.
No, you've got heaps.
No way. I like literally I'm like, what are my actual, I have like no concrete skills. And then if I feel bad at something, I like chicken out like really.
I'm really waiting for the person who gets the questionnaire that I send and is like, man, I have to be honest. I do not know fucking literally anything. And then we can just have a whole conversation about that. It's going to happen at some point.
Happen.
Some people have come close and then it's like you actually know more than you think you know.
That's cute. That's a nice thing to, I'm like, I guess I think I've got interests, but I don't have skills.
So you weren't bringing anything to the table Wordle-wise?
No.
Yeah, my memory of it is we were all in it. So I guess you were doing great just pretending.
Acting. Yeah, I was just brushing up on my acting skills there. No, I feel like I'm always that person. It's like so weak, but it's such a weak personality trait to like when there's like a group mentality, I'll just like give in. Like I remember when Twilight was like, I pretended I read Twilight. I like tried to read Twilight and I couldn't because it sucked shit. It was just like the worst. Like I just was like, even in year 8, I was like, this is such bad writing. I actually can't read it. Yeah. But then I like just pretended that I had at school because
I'm like that now. Like I don't know why I do this, but someone will go like, oh, have you ever seen this movie? And I'll just lie and say yes, and then they're like wanting to get into the specifics, like, oh, because you know when he does that, I'm like, yeah, and then I'm sitting there going,
why'd I lie?
Why'd I just lie and say that I'd seen the movie? Like, it's more just like, because then I have to like, either you feel like such a bummer, like you've ground conversation to a halt, or you have to sit there and have the plot described to you. So it's like, oh, it's easier to lie and say I've seen every movie. But then often it gets like, it gets down to it and you get caught out and you end up having
awkward.
to go. I don't know why I said that before. I haven't seen the movie. But my dad was playing the Wordle and you know the concept, right? You know how it kind of works?
No, I know. I've played it before,
So he was like, he had it up on his phone. I think he was returning to it having started it earlier in the day.
Okay, yeah.
He's been doing it every day, which is great because he's like keeping his mind active. But I'm like kind of looking at where he's at and trying to figure out what the word could be. Yeah. And then it sort of takes me a few moments to realize that up the top of the screen, his first guess was penis. And then his second guess was entry. Which penis in and of itself, like
whatever.
Yeah, okay, a bit weird. But backing it up with entry is like, oh, this is really brutal stuff. And me just losing my mind and going, is this your first guess every time you do the Wordle?
That's his like first, because you have like a go-to word that you have to start off with.
And he's like, there's a lot of vowels in it. I'm like, not really. There's like
one,
there's two.
There's two vowels.
Heaps of words that have more vowels in them.
Mourn or like.
Yeah. But man, that
funny.
Really rocked me to my core.
So funny. Okay, so your dad's a perv and
my dad's a perv.
Stuck in like the 1920s.
Yeah. Seeing entry underneath it, I was like, oh God. Because, you know, you imagine.
You think your parents still do it?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, you could view those two sets of words together in one of two ways.
Yeah.
You could view it as either like proof that yes.
Yeah, it's always on his mind.
Or it's like it's so far away from his mind that that's him like enacting a fantasy through
he just
the Wordle.
has to give it a go. Yeah.
That's his
exactly.
erotic fiction. The first two guesses for Wordle for him every day. But also
He's just hoping your mum looks over and it's like,
but yeah, but the E in penis wasn't in the word, right?
Oh, he just wants
so then
to
he's just
say it.
wasting a letter because he's backed it up with entry. Man, really brutal stuff.
That's crazy. Okay, I don't know whether I feel sorry for him or like I want to meet him because he sounds funny.
Yeah, he is pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's got this like shirt that I made him at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's got a photo on it of his car that he just wears everywhere. He was like a while ago. He went, is there anywhere I could get just like one T-shirt made of like a picture on it? I'm like, yeah. It's like one of the easiest things to do. There's a place at the end of my street that can turn that around in like half an hour.
Actually, I should do that and just get that for my parents as well. Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you meant if you ever meet my dad.
Oh, no.
Get the photo of his
penis
car.
entry.
Yeah.
You do it. That would be funny.
Yeah. That gives me an idea. What would you get on your shirt for a parent?
My dad's obsessed with like gardening, so I feel like he likes his like flowers more than he probably would. Like his Facebook just looks like he's a massive creep because it's just like every photo is just like a flower or like know like it's just like a garden and there's there's no humans on it. It's just
Why is that creep? I think that's nice. I thought you meant it's like him at the park and there happens to be people in the background of the photos.
I think it's weird to just have just flowers as a man.
Sure.
Not to be so binary about it, but like
sure. It's definitely got a whiff of the fake profiles about it. If I saw a comment of that and I went on and there's no human face on there, it's all flowers,
just
I'd be
different
like,
flowers.
this is someone's just found this on Google Images in 5 minutes and I'm being scammed, I'm being catfished.
Yeah, it's weird. So I think I'd just maybe get him a shirt like that.
Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah,
it'd make his day. Of his garden.
Yeah. It'd have to be. They send all our WhatsApp group is just like freaking photos of the flowers. So it's just
and especially like if he's not aware that exists.
Yeah, that's gonna
he
blow
will
his mind.
lose his mind because it'll be like you've invented the machine. That makes the T-shirt.
I'd be impressed honestly if someone gave me a T-shirt that they made. I'd still be impressed. It's like it just feels impressive.
Yeah. It's one of one.
Yeah,
and it's even though it's printed on the most low quality shirt you can get, the quality of the print's kind of shit, but you're like, this is all mine.
Can you choose what shirt you get it on?
I think some places you can go for like a higher end.
Yeah.
You can get like a nice chunky.
Yes, that's what you want.
Yeah, better shirt. Just quickly before we get into the stuff about you and your expertise.
Yes.
What I like to try and do sometimes on here is share something that I've learned from just someone out in the world in the last week. And I'm bad at like when I'm at a function and I want to leave an interaction. Not even because it's bad, just because, you want to – sometimes it's just been a little while and you want to circulate. There's lots of other people there.
Yeah.
How do you extracate yourself?
Yeah.
Are you good at that? Are you good at being able to just like walk away?
No, I'm like the most awkward person. I feel like I'm just like, I was already thinking in my head while you were talking about what my skill.
How to get out of this conversation.
I'm like, how would I say? I'm like, what have I learned recently? But no, I'm pretty awkward, and I feel like I have to just be like, hey guys, I'm so sorry, bye, and like, do that whole thing.
You're just praying for like often it's just like, I need to go to the toilet. Yeah, it's like that's me.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
me out.
Yeah,
I was at an event the other day at a shop, like a launch thing, and my friend introduced me to a person that they knew, a person who runs a sneaker website.
Okay,
and this person kept it very on brand. I got introduced to them. Immediately, they looked down at the shoes, and then they're just wanting to talk to me about the shoes that I'm wearing.
Yeah,
in this weird way where it's like, yeah, you're seeing that brand around a fair bit, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
It's just like, it's Nike. It's
a popular brand, yeah. And then we talked about exclusively the shoes for about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Not a long interaction at all.
Yeah.
No other topics came up.
Yeah.
And then he goes, anyway, good luck with your career. Then walks off.
That's crazy. Yes.
I loved it. Like we weren't talking about, he didn't ask me what I did. We weren't talking about work in any way. But just as
good luck with your career.
Just as a general good luck with your career.
That's so funny because I would take that as like a direct attack or like it's just like some sort of like passive aggressive.
If we had have talked about works, then I probably would overthink it and be like, this motherfucker, what's his problem? But because I think that's the trick. If you hit someone with a good luck with your
Just
career.
career, yeah.
And you've not talked any work stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. You know what? It felt like a real say hi to your mum for me. It had that real vague, it sort of means something very specific.
Yeah.
But if you throw it out in the right way, it kind of
Yeah.
means nothing at all.
I think if you feel good about yourself, I think if someone said that to me on the wrong day, I would be like, what do you know? I'd just be like, it would just be like,
what have you heard?
Literally, it's just like, enjoy it while you can, bro.
Yeah,
because
totally.
It's all over for you. Like,
I think I just also appreciated the just knowing when to get out.
yeah,
you know,
I
it's
think
like
that's
I don't want to be here
that's
for another
cool.
20 minutes talking about my goddamn shoes. Like,
Yeah, that's true. If that's all you know, you're entering a party knowing like that's all you've got to give.
Right.
And then you know when to leave. And I think it is just small talk is like I've actually, it's embarrassing to admit in public, but I've definitely Googled like how to have, it's like networking events and small talking.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like, because I feel like I realized, I think I was talking to you about this already, but I'm not that great at like just like riffing and like bantering and stuff. Well, I sometimes feel, and I guess that's like kind of like more of a guy's thing. And I wanted 1 year, not this year, 1 year, maybe next year, my resolution's like to be able to talk to guys better. Because I'm like, I just like can't be bothered. It's just like,
you're
do
in
I
March,
have
you're
to?
already bailing out. Nah, this one's gotten away from me. I'll give it 9 months and circle back and
Seriously.
see how we go.
Not all men, but sometimes I'm like, what? Like, obviously you're a great guy. There's people you can have like good conversations
Sure.
with. But sometimes I'm like,
so-
why would I bother?
Wait, you're Googling like what, how to have conversations with men or just like how to riff or what do you?
That makes me sound like such a what's that, like MRA, but just like women.
Yeah. Do magic tricks.
How to talk to boys.
Yeah, how to riff with men. I mean, if you want to be one of the boys, call them gay every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
a
just
bit of a
be
healthy
like-
dose of that.
Yes, like never talk about feelings and stuff.
Yep.
No, I think just like generally, I think it's like networking events and trying to be like interesting and lay seeds and just be all like, you know,
Oh, yeah,
like
I'm
show
awful
off
at
without
that.
that kind of stuff. Hate it. Obviously, a lot of people hate that, but even just small talk, like sometimes I just feel like I'm not great at just thinking of. I just like my mind just goes blank, and I'm like, I don't know what to say next. To
No,
you.
I think I'm the same. Like I did really relate weirdly to you saying that in the famous questionnaire that goes out to all of the guests that like wanting to learn how to talk to the fellas because you feel like what your modes are like. You can go into DM mode. You can go into like real intense stuff, but like I don't know. Because I feel the same, and like I'll be in a conversation that is all small talk and be like, I'm bored out of my goddamn mind. I don't care. Someone just tell me something real. Like when someone comes in and they're like absolutely unloading some shit on you and they're always like, oh, I'm so sorry for oversharing.
No,
you're like
I
this
love
is
it.
interesting. This is fun.
Yeah, it's
someone
like,
just being like, oh, the kids were difficult to drop off today. You're like, cool.
I don't know what to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Say to that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what like topics of small conversation people. I mean, I think because at the moment, in staff, I work as like a casual relief teacher. So like in staff rooms where I don't know people, I can just it's kind of awesome. Like you can just sort of like blend. It's like, was it Alex Mack or like one of those people who just like kind of become invisible?
Liquid lady.
Yeah, because like no one wants to invest time into just like getting to know someone for like one day. And I like totally get that. I'm like so great. I'm just like I don't actually want to talk to you either. So it's like kind of perfect.
No, but you're right though. I do think like comedy, you're always around people who you know talk for a living, could talk underwater.
You
so
need
it's
to
like
just be able to just like talk some shit.
and it's such a social work. It's like I find it like around other comedians, it's like so easy to get into that flow state because everyone's big personalities and whatever. And you're totally right. Like anytime you're around like a more normal environment, you're like people don't want you to go to 100 kilometers an hour immediately. Some people do just like to kind of just keep it at a nice little simmer where they're talking about maths and
exactly, or just like whatever,
nothing to offer here.
Traffic, maths.
My friend at school, or who became a friend at school, I should say, always used to make fun of me because I moved schools in year 11, start of year 11.
That's annoying, yeah.
And we, in my theatre studies class, we had to go around and say an interesting thing about ourselves. Which is a classic.
Yeah.
But God, it's brutal. When was the last time you got asked to do that? And what would yours be?
I just asked someone to do that today. No, it's just like, but it's really different from teaching it at high school and teaching it at primary school is really different. And when you ask like like primary school kids. I was actually trying to write a joke today where it's like you kind of like realize you feel like a loser 24/7 because you're just like hanging out with teenagers all the time. And then when you go to a primary school, I was like literally walked into school today and then all these like little kids are like, I love your boots. And they're like, you're really pretty. And you're like,
yeah, nice.
It's just like just what you need on a Monday morning. I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then they just answer earnestly they're just like, I love, they just like really want to offer. Like they just like always want to like talk about themselves. So it's really cute.
Yeah.
But I would, I don't even know. If someone asked me that, I'd be like, kill yourself. I don't know. It's like
something interesting about me. I think you should kill yourself.
The only thing I have is that I can like spit from the bottom. This is like my new party trick that I can like spit from the bottom of my tongue.
Spit? Yeah. Spit from the bottom of your tongue? Yeah, how do you mean?
It's like a fountain. It's like
okay. I'd ask you to act it out, but I don't know. This is like gross. A studio that I ran. I don't have to clean up afterwards.
No, I don't. It's quite dainty, but I've learned it on Backyard Science. It's like if you and it doesn't work all the time, so it is like really awkward if it's like all this build up and then it doesn't work.
What do you from the back of your tongue?
Yeah,
what do you mean? Like a camel, like hocking up a loogie? Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Folks, you got to tune into the video of this one. Pause Pocket Casts, hop onto YouTube. God, I think the angle you're at, I think the camera would have gotten that.
Try again.
Yeah. Oh, take two. Yeah, okay.
That was a bit smaller, but
so where's that? That's going from the.
So I learned it on the show called Backyard Science.
Okay,
that was on ABC
right.
Back in I don't know early 2000s, but pretty much it's like if you kind of like have a lot of saliva build up.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate? I think everyone needs to be aware and really give me props here. I'm showing a lot of restraint. I'm showing it. There's a million jokes racing through my mind right now.
I'm one of the boys.
And I respect you too much to make any of them.
No, I was just saying, I feel like for guys, like giving a blowjob. I mean, it's like you don't really want that. I guess it's like you kind of want the opposite, right? It's like it doesn't really help if you can just.
You don't want the little tiny drinking fountain. Yeah, right. Was that Backyard Science? I've never heard of that.
Well, you haven't lived. No, it was like a program on in the school holidays, and it was just like.
So this is a kids show.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was like doing like random like experiments at home and stuff.
Oh my god.
Then they were like. You can kind of like if it doesn't work immediately, you have to kind of like suck on a lolly or something, and you pretty much it's like you can kind of feel it, and then when you kind of just like put the tongue on, you just have to like kind of push down, and then lift your tongue up. All
right, I'm going to try this out when I get home.
Well, that's one interesting thing about me.
So that would be your interesting thing. Okay, well that's good because mine when I moved to this new school in year 11, first day of theatre studies, and again you just like. You're going around the circle. Yeah. You're just like, and I've got everyone else there knows each other too from pre-existing schooling. I'm like new kid. And I was just really feeling the pressure. I'm like, I don't really want to. And just my go-to was I just went, I had cancer when I was a little kid. And this guy in my class who ended up becoming good friends with me, like later on would always make fun of me about like, what a fucking downer kid. Like day one and you just drop that on us. Just like trauma dumping like right in the door.
Smart. I feel like it's smart because then it's like, well, you're going to be mean to that kid. It's like you can't be.
Well,
it's like kind of
yeah, true. I wasn't even really thinking about it in those terms. I was just like, I mean, I don't know. It's a thing about me. It's not boring.
No, it's like interesting. It's like challenge me on it. And
yeah,
I feel like kids who live through cancer, like they're like special, so you can't. And like I feel like people, like if you just can't. I feel like it's like ultimate card. It's like you've got a card that you can.
Yeah, I really thought people would be like, oh wow, like and just everyone really did go pretty
quiet,
pretty weird on me.
Yeah.
But again, that just goes to show you, it's like I'm like you, I'm not cut out for the small talk.
No, you want to get real, especially when I mean, like I haven't really gone through, I didn't go through like a massive experience like that young, but I think especially if you've been through like freaking cancer, you're just like, yeah, cool, tell me about the weather. It's, it's a real like fork in the road, life-changing youth experience that renders you incapable of bantering with the boys. Actually, yes, I don't think I've even spoken to you about this because my dad had leukemia. Was it leukemia? Yeah.
Mine was similar, but not the same. But
okay,
yes.
All right. Well, then maybe it's not because I was like, what type and stuff. But yeah, we'll have to. What was it called?
It's called aplastic anemia.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like it's kind of its own like weird little sub thing.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge.
And your dad's
Yeah.
all good now?
Yeah, I mean, like he's still got health complications and stuff, but his like personality is pretty much like 100% back, which is good and bad. So we're so happy he knows.
Were you doctor? Were you able to save my personality?
Seriously, it's just like
Yeah.
it's just like such a. It's kind of sounds sometimes when I give too many details about him, it sounds like he's like so one dimensional. But
Right.
it's like,
No, not at
he's
all.
just always reading. Like literally right now,
No, he's complex. He
reading-
likes gardening.
He likes gardening. He's reading death, wills, and taxes as like for fun at the
Awesome,
moment.
awesome.
Constantly talking about wills and stuff. He just wants to like learn how to write a will, I guess.
But your thing about feeling like you can only go to like intense modes of conversation.
Yeah.
I imagine that was really turned up to 11 around the time of your father's diagnosis.
Yeah, I think
Just out,
so.
someone's just like, riffing about, I don't know, the cricket. And you're like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
yeah, it was a little bit like that for sure. Sometimes it was also like you can just talk about. You're like it's nice to just be able to chat about like whatever else.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But yeah, for sure. Sometimes you just like shut the fuck up. It's just honestly don't care about your like
Yeah.
meal prep and things. Like sometimes you just feel yourself shutting down inside where you're like, okay, are you really gonna talk to me about meal prep now? It's like, what about me says that I freaking give a shit?
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't think you need to learn how to chat to guys better. You're really not missing.
Really?
You're not missing
Yeah.
much.
I'm not missing much.
You're not missing
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, every year I'm like, maybe I should make it a goal, but then I'm also like, what? So
I don't. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I've never felt like. Yeah, I've never found you difficult to talk to, and like.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
I mean,
good to know.
I've been trying to write a thing about this for my show, but about in terms of like deciding to propose to my partner, to
Yeah.
Lauren, and just not really knowing how to go about that
Yes.
in terms of like, how do you find out a ring size? How do you start looking and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And I tried this on stage because it's like men don't communicate. So one of us will
No.
learn something and then
Yeah.
the secret goes to the grave with us. So in
That's so
terms of something
crazy
like
to
heaps of
me.
men have gotten engaged that I know, but no one's ever passed it on of like,
How
bro,
to
you know,
talk
I had to
about
like, I went and
it.
measured her finger while she was asleep to get the ring
Yes.
size. It's like, I
Yes.
literally was just on Google being like, how the fuck do you do any of this
No,
stuff?
and I've got to say, male comedians are the worst. I feel like,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
now that I've been out, I feel like now that I've, I guess, just been on like the dating pool for like 2 years, almost like 2.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't confirm. No shade against Jonathan or anything. I don't mean him.
Yeah.
I don't mean because he was actually quite good at talking about his feelings. But
Yeah.
generally, male comedians, I've kind of observed that they are like it's like an extra notch worse. Than
Yeah, I
normal
guess you kind of
people.
feel like because you're talking about things in public, like
That you're
two
just-
crowds of people,
Yeah.
that automatically means like, yeah, I share stuff all the time.
Yes,
But when
it's
it really
like
comes
feelings,
down to it,
yeah,
yeah.
I've never seen people fully shut down like physically more. Like it's actually like it would be good to do a study on it or something if
Right.
anyone has the time. Because yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, talking about like schooling and being younger and
Yeah.
and chatting and all that kind of stuff. One thing you mentioned was lying. You've always been able to be really good at telling a story.
Yes.
And you would make stuff up.
Yeah.
Which again, this came up with Jordan. She
Oh,
was a
yes.
big liar at school.
We're friends,
And
yeah, I
we
can
talked
tell.
about like how, there's a real fork in the road because kind of most kids lie to sort of some extent.
Yeah.
And there's a real fork in the road where either you have like a very humbling experience where you get found out and you go, oh, that felt really bad.
Yeah.
Or you don't and you just are a lifetime pathological liar who thinks they're getting away with it.
Yeah, I think, yes. So the lying thing was like in primary school, I guess I wanted to fit in. I mean, I can't even, I'm like trying to like pull some sub story, but it was actually like the second primary school I went to, there was only 28 kids in the year level and like everyone was cool. So I didn't really even need to fit in that bad, but I think I was just bored. Something was up. And we started, it was kind of like pretty evil. Like we pretty much like found, me and my like friends, we used to find these like beads on the ground. Someone must have like broken a bracelet, but it was pretty weird that there was like these like certain beads that we'd kind of just find around the school. And then our other friend was like, I think it's from, they started like calling our group, it was called like Vulunga Hina Hina. It was like this like random word feel like we're like witches and we need to like this is like a code. We're like there's like codes to the universe and we're finding these beings.
All right, this story really escalated there.
And then I was like enchanted by this concept, and then I was like I'll just take it a step further, and like we'd have to have a leader. So I remember just writing this note from this like, you know, mother witch that was actually communicating us through the beads and being like, guys, I just like found this like note under my pillow. It's like so crazy. Like,
step back for 1 second. How old are you in this story?
Maybe like 9.
Okay.
9 or 10.
Yeah, that's okay. That's acceptable.
I know.
I thought you were going to say like 17 or something, but no, that's, I reckon
9
that's
or
like
10.
cusp of being able to like,
But then I started like, it was like this whole other reality I made up pretty much. And it kind of felt lonely because I was like the one because it was like, there was like the evil one and then the good one. And like when like the evil witch was like controlling, it was like everyone's stuff was suddenly broken in half. Like people would like leave their lunch and it would be like eaten. So I feel like embarrassing, but like people would like have their like lollipops and be like, you know, like I'll leave it near my pencil case and then I just like take it and eat it. And then just be like, oh my God, the evil witch has struck again. And like somehow none of the stuff you care about is like found anymore. And people were like, why is my like gel pen broken in half? Or like, it was just like.
So you're trying to make this like an immersive 4D experience where stuff is like happening in the real world to kind of support this.
Like
it must be such a scary thing. Not scary, but like for a parent, if you've got a kid, the line between like, wow, they've just got such a healthy and active imagination to like
compulsively lying.
This is getting a little bit concerning.
Yeah, it's like you just like broke your friend's bracelet.
Because you've got like basically in this, you've got like an imaginary friend almost.
Yeah,
but it's not just your little person that you're envisioning in the corner of the room.
Yeah, they also control all
You're
of us.
inflicting them on your entire friendship group.
Yeah.
So
and
was
like
this the one that
evil things to happen?
yeah, the fact that it's rooted in some kind of like occult behavior is the like pretty scary thing.
And I remember feeling like kind of a bit lonely because I was like, I can't really talk to anyone about it because I'm like the one that's doing it to my own friends. But then I also had to go on a family trip to India like for, I don't know, we went for like 3 weeks or something. And then when I got back, all the evil stuff started happening again. And then like.
That's so weird that at like the point that you were away, the witches just also like went on a holiday.
Literally, that's what so then my friends had to have an intervention and they were like, we know it's you because every time you like aren't at school, like nothing evil happens.
Yeah.
And then suddenly everything, and then this is also problematic, but then I was like, I felt genuinely really bad, and then I agreed to be my friend's slave. Like,
oh my God.
Then I was like, okay, I'll be your slave, I guess. For like, well, our school was just like, obviously not okay, but then I just had to be a slave for a year.
Can I ask what was the sort of ethnic makeup of the friend that you were the slave for?
She was white, but now we have photos of that time.
That's pretty bad. I bet. I mean, you're saying this is embarrassing to say. It's a way worse story for her to be telling as an adult.
Like my diary entries, which is what my show was like based off, like that time was like, because it was all in pen, I'm just like, I'm Amelia's slave and I work for good pay rise.
Jesus Christ. What sort of stuff would you have to do as the slave?
Wait,
so hang on, this is a result of you being found out about this was your punishment.
I mean,
you were forced into slavery for bullshitting your friends as a result of the intervention.
I think I had always been a slave, but then I was like, it was like amped up more because I was like lying, and I thought that was like fair because it was like I did like just vandalize all their stuff and things.
Sure.
But it would be, but then she'd give me like, she always had like yummy lunches and stuff, so that was like my pay rise.
Okay,
so
that's all right.
It was like kind of like fair trade, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. You get bored. You get
So
I bet. Was there a part of you thinking at the time like, damn, I wish I just had have gotten like one other person in on it so that we could have,
like shared it.
We could have tag teamed it when I was away. Then they never would have found out.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that clever. I think I just was just like, oh, well.
And you know what? Good. You'd be a completely,
like
if
a
you had that
mastermind.
impulse, you'd be a completely different person.
Yeah. I think for some reason I grew out of the lying to friends, but the lying to parents has been like ongoing forever. So it's just
I got to say, like, you know, you think that you don't have the skills to, you know, converse in the way that men do.
Yeah.
But you love lying. I mean, doesn't get more male coded than that.
Literally.
We fucking love it.
Yeah, just lie your way through everything or like talk about.
This is expert gaslighting what you did. You're more of a fella than you ever could have
literally.
imagined.
Okay, great. I'm getting confidence in that now. I just got to be like, no, babe, you made it all up. Yeah.
I remember like I'm pretty sure I didn't tell this in the conversation with Jordan about lying, but I was thinking about this recently. When I was like 20, I worked at a burger restaurant and there was a girl that worked there who would have been maybe like, I guess 5 or 6 years older than me. She was the manager.
Oh, yeah.
And she just seemed like this really cool person that was always out and just had these like amazing stories from things that happened to her on the weekend, and just thought she was so cool. And then this song came on the radio out the back one day, this like, I can't remember which one it was, but it was like a big dance song of the time.
Okay.
And she just turns to us all and goes, I'm friends with this DJ and he wrote this song about me.
Oh my God.
It was like one of the first times I vividly remember in my life going, that didn't happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure?
Just immediately
I
just
just
went.
the biggest dance song in the world.
Well, yeah, it was like one of those like Bob Sinclair songs or something. It was like something massive. And it was also like there weren't really lyrics in it. It was like, what do you mean he wrote this about you? Like, what are you just going, and then you rewind everything they've ever said and you go, oh, you make up everything.
You lied about everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. I think I grew out of it in high school, lying to friends. But yeah, you can kind of see why people would do it as well. But it's also, I think I got put off it because it seemed like only like real freaks were like, it's like if you're like still doing it by your 12, it's like
100%. Yeah. You need that humbling experience of being forced into slavery as a result of pretending to be a witch.
Yeah, and it's like embarrassing.
Interestingly, so you have this period as a kid where you're lying, you're pretending to be a witch, and then something that you are super into now is
witchcraft,
star signs, and you said like anything crystals, anything like witchcrafty,
birth charts, really anything in the occult, as we say.
Yeah, it's a big part of my life too. Like anytime me and Lauren go away to like a small country town,
you go to the crystal
there's
shop.
Always a little fucking witch shop that we go into for an hour at a time. Stuff? Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, obviously, we're friends. So we need to chat about this because I don't think I've spoken to her about it.
Oh, really?
It all
well, you know,
before.
I wonder if this is because if I know now, I'll predict if I relay this to her, what she would ask me to ask you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the film Practical Magic? Because I think that's ground zero of her witch and crystal obsession is that film.
Yes. So me, Jordan, Prue and Rowan, we went on a writing retreat just to like Jordan's parents' house one time and watched Practical Magic, and it was like the best. That's like kind of, I have for some reason hadn't seen it. I think
right. Okay.
My intro to it was a literal witch shop so pretty much I like go through this in my web series. There's like an episode on like witchcraft and Rohan's the wizard, but in real life, I literally found a book that was like a book of spells, and there was one that was like a spell to be hot, and I was just like a real kind of, I just felt like a massive loser up until year 9, I think, end of year 9. No boys liked me. It was just like I just felt ugly, and I did the spell to be hot, and then like. I don't know, because I was like going to this like wizard shop as well. There was a literal guy in a freaking like guy who was like 90 years old in like a purple cloak that would be at the shop saying he's a wizard.
Hang on. So this adult man, he works in the shop.
Yeah.
A year 9 girl comes in and says, can you help me with a spell to make me hot? Jesus Christ.
Looking back, you're like, it's weird.
There are so many near misses in your life. Like, I learned how to like squirt out of my mouth from this show called Backyard Science.
Actually squirting, of course. Duh. That's on my bucket list for real, but not from my mouth. Anyway, did this spell and then nothing happened, and I was like so upset. But then I remember 2 weeks later at my job at Fasta Pasta, these old Greek men were like leering over and like wolf whistling, and I should have taken that as like a threat, but I was just like,
it worked.
No one had ever checked me out before. I like ran to the bathroom and was like, it's working.
Oh man.
I was just so happy.
I mean, I got to say, if I was that same age and I knew you, and I knew you as a girl that worked at Fasta Pasta, I would have thought that was the hottest thing on earth.
Fasta Pasta.
I loved Fasta Pasta.
Oh my God, you're the one person on the planet that's ever said that before.
Oh really?
Yeah, everyone hates it. It was like, everyone was like, it's too fast because everything was always frozen on the inside.
Oh no, I loved it too.
I
loved it.
It was yum. It's like the pizza and like, I mean, it was like pretty yum. It made me feel, I was like such an emo teen working there, but it was like pretty good food.
I would go with my grandpa. There was one in my grandparents' house, and my grandpa was like a big boy, and I would always not
the mains were huge. It was like a freaking like liter of pasta.
But he would let me get he would let me get 2 pastas.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I'd always really turn it up and be like, oh, I just simply can't decide between the bolaise and the carbonara. And he'd be like, why don't you get both? And we'll share. And then I would just I would stay over at their house and just eat like just a Labrador that had been left alone.
Yeah, that's
and my parents would be like,
cool.
we're trying to get him to lose weight. And it's just, I don't know, he stays here once a week and it's not sticking. Do you know, like what's going on? But yeah, I love that chain. I think it might be gone now.
It's gone for
R.I.P.
sure.
R.I.P. Fasta Pasta.
Yeah.
So you
that
go,
was my gateway.
Wow, the wizard taught me the spell and now I'm a believer.
Yes, literally.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So then I went to that shop a lot, but then I also discovered there was like which is also shut down now, a shop in the city called Muses of Mystery, which is like it's like a occult shop as well. Anyway, there's heaps. There's like Sacred Gems, just like my,
because there's also the inner city ones. They always tend to have like a bit of branding and they're a little corporate. Yeah. But then when you go to the country towns, it's just the local freak managed to get a good deal on the lease and he's just in there with a bunch of rocks and
seriously, it's so
wind chimes and dream catchers, and
the country ones are special. There's one in Brunswick that people should support actually where we shot. They were like nice enough to let us shoot a series there. And then I went in and I was like, are you sure you want to like read? You don't want to like read the script because essentially it's just like this like wizard just
making fun.
Just being like, I get straight all the time. And then they were so sweet. They were like, they were like, we just trust in whatever the universe sends our way.
Wow.
And since then, like I've just gone there so much. And recently they put out like a video because some guy and his mom, like some like loser guy, stole $4,500 worth of crystals from the shop, and they've got it all on CCTV.
Yeah. Okay.
So
interesting.
There's all this like crime that happens in those city ones. But
what kind of like all the stuff that they stole?
Yeah.
Is this stuff that's like meant to like the idea that you could trick the universe? Oh, I'll steal these rocks that are meant to bring me good fortune.
No,
there won't be any bad karma affiliated with that.
No, yeah, the now in the shop, like their faces everywhere. It's like, I hope you believe in karma.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I love a bit of shaming in a general store.
I think they'll get pretty bad karma. But yeah, I love crystals and that kind of shop. And I feel like there's no harm in it. I feel like it's just like it just brings a good vibe. And there's been countless times where I feel like it's worked in some weird way that I haven't predicted before.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So you got that. You got the tarot.
Yeah.
You said you could do a birth chart reading for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn that.
Is this an inherently male thing? Because you said if you let me know the where and the time that you were born, and I had to text my mum to find that out. Yeah. Do ladies know that just off the top of their head or not? Okay.
It's like mums are the holder of this knowledge always. So I wouldn't know either.
Because my parents are away. Yeah. And so I had to throw this text out to my mum. Yeah. And, thinking, I'm an only child. So it's like, it stands to reason that she would remember. She was like, immediately like, 6:30 a.m. Oh, I was like, she's not going to remember. She's going to have to like check the birth certificate. Yeah. But it's like, most you had remember. A kid. And it's like, 6:30 a.m. It's like, that makes sense. That's totally, you know what I mean? So like reason, just a random time of the afternoon. That's like,
6:30 a.m. first thing in the morning. Yes. So yeah, most people don't actually know their bedtime, which is.
But I really felt like, have you ever seen that meme where it's like a guy having a text exchange with his mum and he's like, "Mum, what time was I born at?" Yeah. And the mum writing back basically something like, "Leave the date immediately." Like it is so like, I really did, because I gave my mum no context, just threw that out. Yeah. They'd sent me some photos from Adelaide and I was like, "Looks nice. Hey, can I ask what?" And no like, "What's this for?"
The amount of people I've made do this is so funny. And like every date I ever go on these days, I'm like, before I like look in the mirror before I go, I'm like, just don't bring it up. I'm like, just don't bring it up. I'm like, do not bring up star signs. Just like go on the date. Just like don't talk about their birthdays. But it's like,
you're meant to be riffing with the boys.
Literally.
They're chatting about cricket. They don't want to tell you what time they were born.
And then it's like one drink in and I'm just like, texting mum right now what day. It's like, it's not enough for me now just to know, because like everyone's kind of a Virgo, because like everyone has sex during the holiday period, and then it's just like it's like not enough to kind of know that I need to know the birth time. And then now I've discovered this whole other website which tells me like patterns within the birth chart, which is even more interesting. So honestly, even just knowing that I was born at 6:30 a.m.
was kind of enough for me. Like,
huge.
I was like, man, that's fascinating. I'm often like, I'm up late.
Yeah.
I'm a real like I'm not a morning person, and I was like, man, I came into the world as a morning person.
Then
maybe I'm denying my destiny. Maybe I got to recalibrate this whole day that I'm living.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you might, and I feel like I wish I could do it. I'm a kind of like the worst astrologer because it's like I don't have enough interest in it to like know every single detail. Like some people are really encyclopedic, like people who actually do it properly.
Yep.
Mine's just like always like just like a comparison to mine. I'm just like,
all right.
I'm always like, okay, well, I kind of have that, so I think it's a good thing, or you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did look up your birth chart if you want to know.
Yeah. Not to dox myself, but we've got 6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m.
St Vincent's Hospital.
Yep, 6:30 a.m. St Vincent's Hospital on the
25th of the 8th.
Yeah.
1986.
Perfect. Yes. So your birth chart, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, podcast, it's not great, but if you can see.
Yeah.
I don't know if people can see that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
For people online, but that's it's like actually really scientific and interesting. And it's also, in my defense and women in general, it's like, why would it be around if it was there for thousands of years, you know? It's just like, it's not just like Western, like before that it was like Eastern philosophies as well.
Sure.
So yes, it's real. But pretty much you've got like everyone has like a different, like you've got all the 12 signs of the zodiac, everyone has something in that. And then you've got the different houses and then also the different aspects. So it's like, it's actually really complex.
Okay.
But the main things that I can tell you is that it's all, so you've got like a pretty even spread. I've also got mine up here as well. But,
okay. Doing the comparison.
Just giving mine some airtime as well. But
I just wanted to show off my big natural astro chart.
See how mine's like quite there's like no it's just like kind of a little bit one-sided, like there's no aspects on one side.
So you got no like even. Taurus, no Aries.
It's quite empty up here, whereas yours is quite even, which is good. I feel like
I'm lacking on the side of what's
like
this?
Aquarius and Capricorn a little bit, but you've got 2 in Capricorn actually. So
by the way, good. some guy commented when I briefly talked astrology on here with Jordan, being like, God, that astrology thing was tough work. Oh. And I said, what about it? And he never responded. And so I like to imagine him being driven absolutely insane by this more thorough deep dive that includes visual references.
This is the real deal. Okay, sorry, you probably like lost a listener.
Is. It's interesting. It's good.
Okay, we don't have to go too, but all I'm saying is that it's interesting because pretty much where you have like red dots, red lines like that, that's like a conflict within your personality.
Oh, interesting.
So that's not too bad. You can see in mine that I've got like a few
Yours
really
does look like you're trying
ones.
to find the Zodiac killer. Yours is real like bits of thread along all the news clippings. Yeah.
Mine's like I've got an intense personality, but yours is like quite a few purples and greens, and then it makes sense. So you're a sun in Virgo, moon in Taurus. So Taurus and Virgo are like 2 of my favorite signs because I'm a Capricorn and that's like the 3 earth signs.
Okay.
And your ascendant is Leo, which actually makes, so ascendant, that's like your rising sign is kind of like what you put out into the world. And Leos are like there to shine. So it's like a lot of like performers in Leo as well.
Yep.
So you've kind of got like, that tells me that you've got the grounding and like the work ethic and kind of just like the slow and steadiness in your personality to back up the kind of more show business aspect as well, which is cool, which I think is like true of you.
That is the thing that's appealing about this, and no offense, like I do buy into it, like to a certain extent.
I already know you,
but there also is like a nice element where there's always just enough where you're like you can kind of massage it however you want. You know what I mean? Like there's a I guess I am a
like I do kind of have a strong work ethic and am in show business.
Yeah, totally.
But the reason why this guy that you were talking about was going to hate this because it's like, this is like, I haven't ever actually seen this kind of like extra detail in other sites that I use, but pretty much you have a few really good aspects. So like a grand trine in earth science it just means that you're really good at like the earthly, like being practical, like like having the kind of like, it's like the work ethic, practical, like maybe like handling money and also being driven.
Yeah, sure.
I've got to try and like air.
Some things there hard disagree, but okay. Yep.
Okay, that's good.
Well, hey, I mean, just because also it's like, hey, the universe can have prescribed this onto you.
Yeah.
But then it can come into me and then I'm still capable of completely fucking it up.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Which is what these kind of aspects. So the T-squares are like where you have conflict within your personality. I don't actually know what all these things mean. So you'd have to look that up. But I can send it to you online.
Yeah.
So you can look it up. But you've got like a good recently it was like funny because I was like hooking up with this guy who's like really basic, and then we looked up his chart and it had like no patterns at all, which I was like confirmed. I didn't say that to them, but I was just like I kind of do judge your birth chart.
Yeah.
And if you've got kind of like, I mean,
if there was someone you really liked and that you were seeing, would you feel it was like a risk to get into this stuff if you saw all this stuff that like made them astrologically incompatible with you or whatever?
Yeah.
Would you feel like that was too much of a risk to take on?
I feel like if I wasn't already into them, I would probably like take a step back. I know that's like so shallow, but it's funny because I used to talk about in my show how we every boyfriend I've ever had in the past has been a Libra, and Libras and Capricorn famously have like the worst compatibility.
Right.
It's like 0.3% or something. So now if I do, I'm kind of tentative to like go on dates with Libras. But then when I looked closer at my birth chart, it all made sense because I could kind of see why that was an attraction. But I think, but no, not seriously. I feel like if they were like being psycho and then I saw like they had like psycho aspects in their birth chart, I'd probably just like do that thing where you like, what's a confirmation bias?
It's like it's not going great and you're sort of trying to subtly extract from them what time they were born at, so you can go do a little digging.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you secretly get that information out of someone?
I do think now if I think second or third date, I'd probably, it's like, I mean, who am I kidding? It just usually comes out after like one drink.
It's I'm getting that impression, yeah.
yeah, there's no hiding it. But it's fun and it's like no one's birth chart. It's like completely crazy. Like, actually, no offense, my mum's is actually nuts. Like I got her birth chart and it's like, so it's like that red aspect. It's kind of like, it's like pretty much if something's a square, it's not good because it means like every aspect of your personality is in conflict, and she has like 10 squares. It's like the most aspects that you have. If it's like all squares, it means that you're constantly in conflict and like nothing wins inside your personality.
Yeah, okay.
Which I was like, I feel so sorry for you and I feel sorry for me to having to be to be raised by her.
It should almost be like in anything where you're allowed to like comment anonymously, like say on the internet, for example, like you're not okay, look, people don't want to use their real names, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what you do have to include is your time and place of birth so that if you leave some like mean comment about me on a thing, I can go look up the astral chart and be like,
do a roasting.
Oh, well, look at that. Their entire personality is in conflict with itself. So who cares? No wonder they left a comment like that.
Literally. And I feel like it's like, and when I said before that someone had, because it was embarrassing because I was like telling my friends about this basic person, and then heaps of them looked up their charts and they're like, I've got no patterns. And I was like, I know that they're also definitely not basic. So I think I'm wrong. I'm just basing it all off just like one thing. So I feel like I'm wrong.
Is this like, would you say that this is like the one thing, or it seems like the main thing, but is there anything else that you put like a degree of faith into?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like actually batshit now. I feel like since actually I feel like I want to do like a show one day that's like Truman Show but like girl version, and it's like because I feel like once you open up to like the world of like science from the universe, you can kind of see it everywhere.
Right.
It's like all those memes where it's like you're like having the worst day of your life and you look up, it's like 11:11 on the microwave.
Oh, for sure.
That's 100% me. Like when I'm driving, if like I'm like in a shit mood and then a car drives in front of me and it's like 111 on like the number plate, I'm like, all right, I hear you guys. I'm like, it's going to be
I'm a bit, I definitely have that at times, but a bit like selectively, and like there is something that's appealing about just going all in on something.
For sure.
And just being like, I mean, even, obviously it's the source of a lot of problems, but like giving yourself over to religion and being like, I just want to put my faith in something.
Totally.
I just want to believe in something else that I can't see, that, it's nice to just have some kind of idea that something exists above me.
Yes, and I think it's like really nice to have like stuff, just like to admit that you just won't ever know some stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
there's like, yeah, we don't need this like masculine, like we need to like solve everything with science and like everything's explainable. It's like, no, there's like stuff that's just like you're just never gonna know. And it's good. But yeah, I think, but I'm trying to also like not fully be, I feel like I give off crazy vibes at the moment. So I'm just trying to like rein it in a little bit.
No, I'm into it. I'm super into it.
Yeah.
So something I've been asking people on the show is like, if you could know everything about a topic, about one topic, like what would it be? It could be like a topic or a skill, or if you could just be like snap your fingers and be complete expert in something, what would you pick?
Ooh, I feel like I've got like, I mean, obviously it would be great to like know the whole tarot deck or whatever. But practically right now I'm trying to like teach myself video editing, and if I could just like know it, it's like if I could just like know, if I could just have like a bit more of a tech brain. I really am trying to like be a bro.
I'm halfway between like I know a little bit about tech but not enough to be able to, I know enough to do some stuff.
Yes.
And I'm interested enough in it that like last night I went to this thing, it was called Kagami. It's over now, but it was on at the exhibition centre.
Oh, cool.
And it was this sort of like VR concert by this Japanese pianist composer guy who's dead now. But you was sitting in this big circle in this big room.
Yeah.
And you had these goggles on that would do like a little AR thing of him in the middle of the room. And then sort of stuff would be happening, like a tree would grow out of his piano and you were able to get up and sort of move around the space.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And so it was really cool. Like the tech of it is already impressive, but I just kept thinking about like, God, this will be great in like 20 years. Like the technology of it, because like the little screen, the little thing that you're looking at in your field of vision through the goggles, it's just a square. So like if you kind of tilted your head, you know, he would like kind of clip off to the side. So there was never a point where you would be standing there where that was where you could just see the whole thing. And it's also those, you know, the tech in those little goggles is pretty intense. So you've got like a little mini computer kind of dangling around your neck that is really working its ass off, and you could just hear the little fan from all of them. And I was like, this is so annoying to know enough about the tech of this to be distracted by it. Yeah. But not enough of the tech of this to be able to like edit a video competently. Like
exactly, the editing and like the keep, and I keep being like I've got like this like split personality going on in my head where I'm just like, you know, I'm like, no, I can learn, like especially in lockdown, I was like working as a you know, live arts producer. I was like, I was really interested in like thinking about how we can make things more accessible and like have like just like the internet as like, you know, digital reality so people can access stuff. So all that was like, I'm like, yeah, no, it's going to be really cool if I can just like edit my own videos. And then there's like another part of me that's just like, I just like shouldn't have to do this shit. Like, it's like, why do I have to just be over here like fucking editing my own videos? Like, you know, there's like so many things now that I'm just like, okay, it's like add it to the list, like learn how to like use social media and like write stand up and like learn how to like write a script and then like know how to do like production side of stuff. It's just like, there's just too many things and I just don't
creative people
at
the moment, we all have to be very anti-AI, and obviously like getting it to write a script or whatever is like bad and impersonate people. But then you go, man, being able to push a button in this video just fucking edits itself. So that sounds pretty awesome.
God, I know. Don't even get me started. That would be so good, just like something. But
yeah, you feel like you've got to be, if you opt in on even like a tiny bit of it, then you're sort of encouraging and giving rise to all of it. But there just are a couple of little things there where it's like, God damn it, this would be helpful to just snap my fingers and have it happen.
But it is interesting. I had this, like, this isn't really related to anything. I had like this interesting experience today because like I went to dinner with some friends like 2 days ago, and my friend who's got a 2-year-old kid now is just like, we're just turning off all TV. Like he's just like, I'm throwing away my TV and we're just not watching any screens at all. And I was like, and I was like, okay, wow. I feel like the way she explained it was just like interesting, and also I get it because it's like it was more like his like mood just gets dysregulated, and like they have enough resources and time at home that they can like spend time with the kid.
He might learn weird shit from Backyard Science and ABC Kids that we're not
and then we like spitting from the back of their tongue
on camera,
literally. And I was like, well, but the way she was speaking about it, she's a really good mum as well. So I was just like, okay, like kind of like makes sense. But I'm like, wait, our whole job is like begging people to like watch screens. Like that's like literally you're just like, please there's not another. We can't lose like an audience member.
Yeah.
But then today at school, when I was just like casual relief teaching, this kid was like, I've never seen such an addiction. It was like physiologically, this kid was like so
really?
addicted to screens. And he's just like, even when he stops, he's just like, psh, psh, and he's like, it's like sounds funny, but it was like kind of, I was like kind of laughing, like kind of tragic. It was just like everywhere he goes, he's just like pretending he's on a screen.
Oh my God.
He's addicted, and he's like, please let me watch it, please. And they were doing like the NAPLAN testing, which is like, you know, statewide. And his resilience was just like so low because he was trying to finish.
He's thinking about that screen.
Literally, and he was like having a full on meltdown because he's like, I can't, I don't. It was just like,
I need Subway Surfers going on. Yeah, what was he wanting to do on the screen? Like play games
just
or
like watch Minecraft? And then I was like trying to talk to him, be like, what do you like do? I was like, oh, like, do you do this all the time at home? Like, don't you like? I was like, you can go talk to someone. He's like, no. He's like, I hate people. And I was just like, to be fair,
bantering with the fellas. You're not missing out on anything. That's what the adult ones are like as well.
I was like, I totally get it. It's like, he's like, no, and he's like, I just get really bored. I'm like, me too. I get it.
Yeah.
But and weirdly, he's like this obsession with like writing jokes. So I'm just like, of course, you're just gonna be probably a comedian.
He's gonna be
soon.
yeah. You'll see a video of him in 10 years' time on TikTok being like, oh, when mum tells you to put your socks away or whatever.
I feel like I'm like, is he going to be like a mastermind genius, or is it like maybe we should just like encourage it? But it was like really it was like kind of, I haven't seen that kind of addiction before. So who knows?
Right. Well, we better wrap it up there, Evie. I hope, I don't know if you checked your tarot cards to see how this would go, but
I didn't actually, but I feel like
you have a deck and you've been doing a bit of that.
Yeah, my friend actually we went to Bali and she got me this like really beautiful deck of, it's like witches, but it's also like cats and they're on a beach. That sounds like really lame, but it's not like meme cats. It's like hand drawn.
Got it. Yeah, cats. I guess it's like at the end of the day, it can really be anything on those cards. Like imagine
it can be anything. That's
going
a
to
cool
see
thing.
someone in like a shopping center and they're like, hey, I don't know how to break it to you, but you and your husband are going to get divorced, and it's like a fucking card with a minion on it. It's like
it's telling you just revisit your choices.
That's a good bit. You get like a really whack novelty deck that still adheres to all of the, it's still all the actual cards,
but it's just like some like.
Just like crazy. A naked Fred Flintstone on it or something. That's just like, hey,
they do have weird stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think in London they have a lot of decks like that.
Weird novelty ones. Yeah. Well, thanks heaps, Urvi.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
All right, fun stuff with URVI Majumdar, and quite triggering there talking about editing and keyframes and whatnot because, hey, after doing this, that's what I'm about to have to go and do for the video of this episode. If you want to get onto patreon.com/howtodoeverything, that is where I get a little discussion thread going every week for the episode. Let me know, are you that person that hated the other time I talked about astrology on the show? And how did you go with this one? Are you good at reading the birthing charts? Have you ever pretended to be a witch at any point in your life? Can you hear my dog crying for me to open the door because he wants to go explore the rest of the house just off mic right now, and he's going to have to wait another minute and a half? Weigh in. Happy to hear everyone's thoughts from anything that this episode jogged for you. Did you learn how to do anything slightly disturbing from the ABC series Backyard Science? Let me know. And yeah, do check out URVI Went to an All-Girls School. There's 3 short episodes on YouTube right now, and there is a pilot going up on ABC iView at April the 9th. Definitely check that out. Great show. Lots of great people involved. Really funny stuff. Previous guest Jordan Barr is also in it. Really recommend checking that out. Guys, thank you very much for listening. If you did enjoy the show, you can also follow us on Instagram at How to Do Everything Podcast. Leave us a nice review on your podcast app of choice. Thank you for sending in your feedback every week, letting me know what you think of the apps. Really, really appreciate it. Cool to know that people are listening to the show and enjoying it. Always love hearing from you guys. So yeah, feel free to hit me up with any thoughts. I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.